won't look as you go up and get more. If you won't do that, we won't say a word. Continue to eat. If you'd like to clean up a little bit, you may do that. We'll take you a few minutes and if you'd like to get the program started. So Coach Sechrist doesn't go for 2.5 hours. Of course, he could be eating for 2.5 hours. Folks, guys, you want any more milk or anything? Because we're going to put that away. Does anybody need any milk? Andy, you need any more milk? Okay. Still growing, I need it. Folks, we're going to start our program now, and I'm going to make a few brief remarks that Coach Strucci was going to make, and I think he was going to play most of this by the seat of his pants because there's not a lot here. Okay? But I can get pretty good at this. The very first thing he brings up is the program is in great shape because of the effort put forth from number one, the parents, number two, the players, and he says something about coaches. I don't know if that third one's very important. I think we're here because we love kids, but parents, players, give your mom and dads a hand for the effort. He would like to thank the school board, Mr. Bell, Mr. Stock, Mr. Jones, Mr. Tarvin, and Mr. Calvert for the sensational job that they do. The Boosters Club for all their efforts. He mentions the support of the coaches for the loyalty and hard work that we apparently do. The parents for their dinners on Thursday night. I know the fellows look forward to that. It was a time for fellowship. Hopefully they didn't destroy anybody's house. I mean, when they go from a 90-foot floor gymnasium to a living room or a family room, I don't know, they probably could destroy the place. But hopefully that didn't happen, and I know they enjoyed that time together. The media, Daily Globe, WSWR, and the great job our cheerleaders do. Outstanding. Our fans, the support that we got this year, incredible. When we went to the tournament, there was no doubt the Shelby High School and the Shelby community was well represented. We have 4 individuals that I would like to take time right now to award a gift to for their hard work. The first individual we're going to lose. He has announced that he will not be back. Something about cold bus rides, cold weather, or something like that. But I know this guy will hang around the gymnasium on Friday and Saturday nights when the Whippets are playing. He may just not have a pencil or pen in his hand. And Phil, for the great times, the long bus rides, I guess we've been together about 31 years. Part of that time, give or take a few years. To Phil Chu, our head statistician, he has announced his retirement, and I'd like to have him come up and receive this award. guess we've been together 31 years. A lot of 31s here. He's the man that comes roaring in just before we go off the floor at 6 minutes. Coach Grucci has everything to say in that minute before we come back out on the floor, but the most important fellow in that locker room with 6 minutes to go is this man right here, Mr. Phil Pearson. Next individual, Mr. Cole, of course, is our scorekeeper. Parents, I don't think you've seen this yet. Your sons have these, and we have put together stat sheets. Of course, Phil does it on game night, and then we relay this to Mr. Cole during the week. He puts together the NOL stat sheets, and he has, I guess, got a new computer program that he's played some games with this spring, and he has put together a nice-looking stat booklet, and we really thank him for the effort that he does, Mr. Gary Cole. And of course, the voice of the Whippets is in play practice, Mr. Hunter, and he's already received his gift. He announced at Gund Arena for us, and we have tapes that parents are going to be able to see, and you will be able to hear the voice of the Whippets quite clearly from Gund Arena, and he does a super job. So we want to thank Mr. Hunter, even though he isn't here at this time. A little later on, we're going to introduce our high school statisticians. Brittany Bennett may sing, because I may be tired by then, and Coach Knapp may have to control her. We'll also introduce our managers and trainers at that time, and also a little later on here we will honor our players. But our statisticians, our trainers, our players that make up this program, they're a class organization. You can be very proud of each and every one of these young people. Highlights. Coach Grucci said, Gund Arena. I didn't particularly like it. We lost the gosh darn ball game. You know, it was fun though. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a very good possibility we'll do it again. And hopefully we'll find somebody we can beat. Won't we, fellas? Yeah. Another highlight, beating Bellevue at Bellevue. And the nice thing about it is, it's not Shelby, but there is an NOL team still playing in the regional, and that's Bellevue. I hope they make it to state. Also, the win against Fostoria, our sectional tournament win, that was a highlight. A dunk was a highlight. I hope next year we don't have that as a highlight. I mean, I just hope that's a common occurrence, okay? A dunk a night, I don't know. It's worth 2 points, but we won't get really excited about one dunk, okay? I'm not too much into that, but that's a highlight. And the highlight, the last thing that he mentions here is the growth of these young men into an experienced team. It was great to watch them grow. Okay? Now, let me turn this over to one of the moms. She's a pretty good mom, right, Toad? Pretty good wife, right, Ron? Thanks for answering that question. Connie Connie Stepsis is going to come up and introduce some special fans for us.
A couple years ago, I had a poem, but I won't do that. Come on, fans. I have the honor of revealing the secret fans. And every one of these women that I called said, sure, I'd love to. So I may be saying women's names, but I'm sure some of the husbands were involved also. Jay Highland. Your secret fan is that shirt. I'm doing the numbers. Toby Stepsis. Your secret fan is Jane McClish. Nick Hammond. Where are you? Your secret fan is Terry Hummel. Kurt Keplinger. Your secret fan is Steph Morris. Kyle Bishop. Drum roll. Your secret fan is Brenda Putnam. Keith Hummel. Secret fan is Uncle Scott. Got him. Derek Roberts. Your secret fan is Lorna or Todd Albert. Friday morning. They do love you, and you know that. Rick Stacklin. Your secret fan is Linda Heidinger. Joel Hinkle. Your secret fan is Sue Ann Payne. Jay Apple. Your secret fan is Ann Bly. Kevin Wolford. Your secret fan is Sally Dunbar. And Josh Steele. Your secret fan. Come here, a little closer. A little closer. Come here. She's in Aruba. Come here. Jill Potter.
Thanks, Connie. Thanks for those secret fans. That's just a great gesture on their part, and it's just a wonderful thing that goes on as part of this program. Todd Albert isn't here, huh? Didn't show up. Jeez. those two individuals, Todd Albert and John Thompson, represent our coaches of our great team that we introduced last year, and it's really a developmental team for our 7th and 8th graders. And they were playing in the Friendly House League this year, getting some experience, and we just think that's a great program, and we can't thank those two individuals enough for the job that they are doing in running that team. It's really a great job. At this time, I'm going to introduce our 7th grade coach, first year on our staff. If he keeps taking the coaches and having them during baseball practice, during the banquet for basketball, we may have to change that. But he did a super job in his first year, and I know he's going to be a great baseball coach. He's going to be a great basketball coach. Jeff Ryman, come on up here and tell us about that 7th grade program.
I'll talk 1 second as the baseball coach. I hope Bellevue keeps on winning as well as long as they can stay on baseball practice. We ended up 7-7 this year on the 7th grade team. But the good thing is that all of my kids played. And I think there was only 1 or 2 games that all the kids did not play. We went out, we worked hard, we improved every game. We had fun. John, we had fun. The good thing that we got to do, Francis and the varsity beat Bellevue Friday night, and we got to go to Bellevue Monday to play them, which was great. And we got to beat Bellevue at Bellevue as well. So it was a good year for Shelby against Bellevue. The guys will continue to improve, and as far as I know, all of them will be back next year to continue the tradition of Shelby Whippet basketball. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Great addition to our staff. I'm going to have Mike Schaefer come up, talk to you about the 8th grade program, and the job that Mike did with these kids this year is outstanding. Pretty good. We got some good athletes, too. Mike, come on up here and tell us about that.
Probably in many words I could describe our season, probably the best and the easiest would be enjoyable. New coming into the season, we had a good group of talented kids that had achieved success in the past. What I found out that throughout the year, those kids weren't satisfied with the success that they had in the past and were determined to get better each day and improve, not be classified as a good team, but a great team. And I think at the end of the year, those kids proved that their hard work did pay off. We ended up 14-2 on the year. We won the NOL tournament. And I'll say a highlight, we didn't also beat Bellevue, but we did beat Willard in the championship game of the NOL tournament. I guess in closing, I could say the same thing I've said the last 3 years as I stand up here and look at the young kids coming up through the program. If those kids continue to work hard, stay in the program, and they're not satisfied with their success so far, that I will not be the one standing up here talking about NOL championships, but it will be Coach Crucci. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. At this time, we'll turn it over to the 9th grade coach and a guy, I guess, 31 years ago, right? Everything's 31. You got a few more than I do, and you look like it too. Coach Seacrest, the 9th grade program. What did they do to you today?
Well, I don't have a lot to talk about, but a little bit. I also hope that Bellevue keeps winning, but my reason is a little more selfish. I'm going to go down and watch the state basketball tournaments in a couple of weeks, and I'd like to look down that program and say, there's Shelby. They beat them. if they make it that far, we'll be in there. So I have a more selfish reason on that. On my ninth grade squad this year, we started out on the road, I think 6 games on the road, and didn't play too well on the road, but we finally got our act together over Christmas, and we ended up 10-10. I thought that was very respectable. Went up to the Willard Tournament, they call it the Willard Tournament, but it's all the NML schools, and we ended up second up there. I got beat by Willard in the championship game by 2 points, so I think they did a respectable job. A few thank yous to Mr. Cole. He doesn't keep my stats, but he wrote a stat program 10 years ago, maybe? I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. He wrote off the top of his head and used it for varsity, and I've been using that stat program for myself on the old Apple IIe ever since. I haven't made some computer yet. Mr. Pearson, whenever he was around, he was very thoughtful and led us on a team prayer before the game, so I appreciate that, Mr. Pearson, and we go back a long ways on that too, don't we? 31 years. 31 years. One of these days we'll be saying 32 years. Coach Hardesty mentioned Todd Albert having, what do you call that, great team? You may not know, he helped me with my freshman team. First 2 or 3 games, I kept seeing him in the stands, and I knew he was part of our program. I said, well, why don't you come down and sit on the bench with me? You do have a little investment in this 9th grade team, and so he sat the bench with me for the games, and I appreciate that, and I thanked him for that, and like that to be public knowledge that everybody knows that he helped me with that team. I sort of, in the freshman program, feel sort of like a loner usually, because we're the only team that we really don't have anybody sitting with us and helping us out. You look at 7th, 8th grade, and they help each other out at games. And you go to the varsity reserves, and they got enough coaches on there to play a game. But this is kind of included. But you go to most freshmen, people do not have an assistant, and usually I don't. I sure appreciate one this year. It takes a little load off for somebody else to watch a game with you and help make some decisions. To the varsity team, a nice season, and I didn't do a lot to help you out. I threw that tackle board out, but you trump on that every time there's a timeout, so at least you get to step on me a little bit. Jay asked, whatever your future holds for you, good luck to you. And if you people are coming back, one thing to say, the ball's in your court, guys. You've got, from this day, 200, this is a sort of a tradition here, you have 270 days to get ready for Madison, which is December the 5th, right here in Joe Young Gymnasium, and probably about 270 days and a half hour, give or take a little bit. So that's how much time you got to get ready. And that's accurate. You know I wouldn't be anything but accurate. I guess that's about it. I'd like to thank all the coaches, and Coach Kushi isn't here, but I'm sure he knows that I thank him too. And the rest of the coaches for allowing me to sit on the varsity bench and do whatever I could to help. And that's about it. Short speech tonight, Coach. Sure, thank my wife. I got to go home to her tonight, so thank you. Thanks, Gerald. Does a great job. And fellas, he knows how many days. And we'll be ready. Bring on the Rams. We'll be ready to play. Turn this over to our JV coach, Larry Knapp, and he will introduce our JV players. I too will try to keep this brief. First of all, I'd like to talk a little bit about our season. We probably did not win as many games as we would have liked to have won. We only won 6. But when the season was all done, we stopped and looked at the scorebook, and we had lost 10 games by 6 points or less, 3 by 1, 3 by 2, and those of you that were there suffered with us. We weren't a real good foul shooting team, as you know, and we outscored our opponents this year from the field by a huge number of points and lost most of those games in foul line. So, being optimistic, I think we did some things very well. We led the NOL JV teams in defense. We did play very good defense. And as I kept telling the kids all year, there is a real challenge out there for them because almost the entire varsity team is back. 11 of the 12 players are back. That doesn't leave a whole lot of positions open for them. So our goal was not necessarily to win, which was why we tried to play everybody every game, but to improve. And I think the last 3 or 4 weeks we really started to see that. We started to be a lot more competitive with some of the teams that had beaten us the first time around. And I would say a highlight for us was beating Willard the last game of the year, nearly beating an undefeated Winford JV team the week before that, and playing very well against Galleon the night before that, and winning that game pretty easily. So we won 2 of our last 3 and played very well the last 3 or 4 weeks. Very quickly, I would like to thank some of the same people, and I'll try not to be too repetitive here, but I would like to thank all the coaches. We worked together very well, very few disagreements. I'd like to thank Coach Hardesty and Coach Seacrest, especially for being on the bench during the JV game. Coach Struzzi has banned himself after last year's Cyrus game. Those of you that were there last year know what I'm talking about. I'd like to thank the administration, again, Mr. Pearson, Mr. Cole, Mr. Chu, Mr. Hunter, all those people that helped us out. I'd like to thank Chris McNary, our trainer, and our 3 managers. Without them, we couldn't be able to do all the things that we do. They get all the dirty jobs. I'd like to thank the cheerleaders and their advisor, and special thanks to Carrie Baker. She was the one that always seemed to give me the food every week. Andy sure appreciated that. I'd like to thank the stat girls, Brittany and Nikki and Katie. We had some really interesting trips in the van along with the managers. Brittany, I wouldn't rush right out on that singing career. But thanks for the cookies. I'd like to thank the parents. You have to put up with some really strange hours. I understand we don't have a normal schedule. Some days we're early, some days we're late. Some days we stay a little bit longer, some days we get out a little bit early. There's no real good way for you to plan what you're doing, but we appreciate everything that you do for us. I'd like to thank all of the fans. We had excellent support all year long. I'd like to thank my son Andy. He's kind of a special buddy to just about everybody on the team. He was at every practice this year. He was at every game. He's certainly a part of the team, so I'd like to thank him. And I'd like to thank my wife. Again, she's got to put up with all those crazy schedules, and by the end of the year, she was telling me who to start. She's taking credit for that improvement near the end, by the way. So. Okay, what I would like to do is call each of the players up. We have 2 juniors this year who were sort of our leaders, if not vocally, at least by their actions. Chad Ramey and Rob Russ, I'd like those 2 to come together. Okay, then I'd like to go to the sophomores, and I'd like to start with John Bigelow. John gets his numerals in addition to his certificates. So John, would you come up, please? Okay, the rest of these guys, with 1 or 2 exceptions, have played for me, some of them 3 years in a row now. I almost feel like I ought to take them home and give them a bed and feed them. They played for me as 8th graders 2 years ago when we won the Willard tournament at the end of the year. Some of them ended up on the JV team last year and played for me due to circumstances. And some of them are with me this year. And if they don't work real hard, some of them are going to be with me again next year. So I would like to call the rest of this group up together. Jeremy Hall, Paul Haney, Mark Ingram, John Lance, Eric Will, Trevor Winters, and Mike Yetzer. Okay, Coach Seacrest has alluded to this, I have alluded to this. We have the potential to be the next Lexington, the next Ontario, the next Bellevue. We have a run of athletes coming up that could challenge that type of record. But now it's up to the players, and I'm not just talking to my JV players, I'm talking to the varsity players. Guys, it takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of dedication. We have the talent, we have more depth than anybody probably in the area for next year, but you really have to want it, and I know Coach Strucy will not let you relax, we will not let you relax, and I don't think you will allow yourself to relax. We wish you the best of luck, but it's going to take a lot of hard work. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach. Now I'm really going to start doing it. You know what? He's got a time schedule here, and the varsity is supposed to be on at 7:40. We're doing a heck of a job, aren't we? This may come to a screeching halt right now because there isn't a thing here. I'm just going now. We are good. First of all, let me take this opportunity to thank, and I've already done this, but I spend a lot of time in the laundry room with these guys, just making sure that we've got 12 uniforms packed, this and that and the other. And I'll tell you, we had 3 young men start for the first time, and then we have the old timer that knows everything about everything. And by the end of the season, these 3 young guys, they really know their stuff. It's kind of scary. We don't run without managers and trainers. They're a vital cog to this program. First young man I'd like to have introduced is Scott Hall. Where's Scott? Come here, Scott. We're going to have him around for a while. He's going to come back out with the team, I think. He's one of those individuals that didn't make it this year. He had a lot of time to shoot on the side. That shot's coming. That's right. He's a freshman scorekeeper, too. The kid's everywhere. Okay? This next young man, Robert Kennedy, come up here. By the end of the season, by the time I got ready, or when I got here, I normally got here early enough to make sure everything was packed and ready to go. By the time I got here at the end of the season, Bob had everything packed and ready to go. We were on our way, okay? Great organization. Another scorekeeper. But we got him busy. And this next young man, you better stay out of his way. Because if you're in his way, he'll just run you over. And you can ask Coach Gucci that. He ran him over in the hallway. Okay? I hope this guy had fun because we had fun having him around. Jason Frisbee. Watch out. He's a good. This next young man, I guess we've been together about 4 years. He is our trainer. He had a part-time job this winter, so most of the time he came in right after school, checked to see if we need anybody to tape this, that, and the other. By the end of the season, I was taping everybody because he just took off. But he was there on game nights, and we had some problems. He was there. He took care of it. He made sure Phil Chu was where he was supposed to be. Chris McNary, will be dearly missed. There is a super young man. Okay, we're going to bring the singers up now, who are high school statisticians. But Coach Knapp always had a story for me after we on our away trips coming home in the van. So we have this situation where they're singing, having a good time, running the radio and the whole 9 yards, trying to keep the manager straight. Did a super job for the first year. Brittany Bennett, Katie Clayball, Nikki Phillips. They did a super job. The comment up here was, I thought our story stayed in the van. They didn't miss much, did they, Phil? They did a pretty fair job. Thanks again, girls. We got one more support award here before we go to the players. He didn't miss a practice. And Mandy Johnson, you're somebody, I don't know who does that big, but Mandy, she made sure I got things every week. But I couldn't eat all of it. But I had a guy that could. He's our ball boy, Andy Knapp. He was standing up. Yeah, Mandy, he took care of anything I could. He got to the point and said, Coach, can I eat that? Great guy. Okay, let's introduce these players and let's honor them as this banquet is for their honor. First young man I'd like to introduce is a non-award winner, and I'll explain our criteria. We played 20 games. You have an opportunity to play 80 quarters in those 20 games. For a letter, you would be required to play half the quarters. This young man did not play half the quarters. With a situation, he asked if he could go down and play some JV ball towards the end of the season. We discussed it. We thought it was a good move, and he showed that it was a good move to the end of the season. I know this kid's going to work hard because he's worked hard in the weight room. He's learning the game. He didn't get an opportunity to letter this year, but I know he's going to work hard to be a letter winner next year. Kyle Bishop, would you stand up? No, Kyle, you come up here. I want to shake your hand. I was just going to have him stand because he did get hurt right at the end of the season. I know you saw him on crutches, and I forgot that he was getting around now. We're in the baseball season now, Coach, so he'll be ready to go. Okay? Okay, let's go with our first year award winners. The first young man I'd introduce, I don't know, well, I guess there isn't a rhyme or reason to this. I thought when I looked at Coach Gushi's list, it was from tall to small. But we'll start with tall, and this sucker better get better. That's all I gotta say. Okay? He better be knocking some people around next year. Okay? Terrific young man for a sophomore, Josh Steele. Where's Mom? Mom, you do a good job of dressing me. What's that, water? Next first year award winner, another sophomore, a point guard, a true point guard. He's going to push. He's a good one. D-Dog, Derek Roberts. D-Dog. We've got a junior, plays inside. Boy, he's a nice shooter. Wish he had some more ups. Ups, you gotta get off our feet. Understood? Okay, we gotta get some ups. But he's not blessed with ups. He's a pretty smart player. Kevin Wolford. Boy, we're gonna be deep with people like him. Next young man has ups. Okay? First year award winner. I guess he was the highlight. A dunk. Joe Hinkle. You do a nice job of dressing me too. Okay. We're going to move down to some bars and inserts. That's part of the award. These young men have probably, hopefully, received a letter in another sport, but they are first-year award winners in basketball. Junior, this kid drives you nuts in practice. People hate to have him in practice. He can't shoot a lick. Makes a basketball team a good basketball team. You know your role. He did, by the end of the season, he was able to move out to the gray volleyball line. That's about 8 feet away. Good job, Stitch. Or Richard Statler. This next young man, he's the three-point shooter. He's the zone breaker. He gets a little better defensively, gets a little meat on these bones. I hope you ate a lot of desserts tonight there, buddy. He's a good one. He's humble. Final tournament game, 9 seconds to go, and he rolls his ankle. 9 seconds. So that's going to put him behind a little bit for spring sports, but hopefully it's healing up. Good job, Heath. Next young man, what can you say? Our only senior, a true leader, an unfortunate situation right at the beginning of the season. Took us more than half the season to get him back. Fine young man. What an artist, huh? I mean, he's everywhere. You wear a t-shirt, it's him. Okay? You come through the doghouse doors, it's him. Okay? Truly a fine young man. You can be certainly proud. J.S. Well, the next one is the Jay Bird. We got Jay, and then we got Jay Bird. And this is why I thought we went from tallest to smallest. This kid, he can play the game of basketball, and he's going to continue to improve. And you couldn't ask a guy to work any harder than this young man did. Jay Highland, get up here. To our second year awards. This young man's got a lot of statistics. He's got a few honors. We want him to have more honors. He'll be back. He'll lead this team as a true leader would. Nick Hammond. This kid can leap out of the gymnasium. A great athlete. Sometimes when he's on the floor, his mind's going one way and his body's going another. But when he puts that all together, he may be one of the best players that Shelby has. He could be one of the best players that Shelby's had in a long time. He's got all the tools. I think he likes the game. I like being around him. Big Red, get up here. Sophomore, 2-year award winner. He's got some ups. In fact, I told Coach Gucci we ought to play him in the post. Coach Gucci says, well, he's a little small for that. But he's got pretty good post moves. And we play him at the point guard. So, those things happen. Toby Steps, outstanding season. Okay. Those are our letter winners for this season. Is Miss Delauder here?
Go back and
Okay. Hallie, are you next? JB? Yeah. See, this is by the seat of our pants, folks. Okay? Hallie Delauder. JB, Shelby.
I have the JV girls, and what a responsible bunch of girls. They were here before I was sometimes, and just hardworking, fun group to work with, always laughing, always making me laugh, and we had a good time. I need to thank the coaches for all their information, let us know what's going on, and I especially want to thank Diana. I saw her walk back out. She started my girls at practice before I got here. She rode up most of the time on the bus, and I also want to thank the parents. It is so nice, not just my girls' parents, but it is nice to see their parents always at most of the games. And it's also nice to sit around parents because you know you're going to get the supportive cheers, and it's nice to see fans that cheer positively. It is awful
front of someone who isn't cheering positively, but it's nice to see that all of you are. Also, the cheerleaders all had 2 or 3 guys that they would buy things for, and they usually did that for every game or at least once a weekend. So I appreciate that for them volunteering to do that, making sure they had something for those gentlemen. So I'd like to introduce my girls, and they can come up and stand here, please. Tiffany Studer. I had 2 juniors. One is Megan Martin. And the other one is Carrie Baker. Tiffany Wilson. Kyle Fiddler. And Stacy Andrews. Thank you.
Would the JV cheerleaders come back up? I think you needed some exercise. Okay, we would like to show our appreciation to each of the girls just very quickly. Diane, how you doing? 10 seconds. 1,000, 1,000, 2. How's the officials do? Brittany, you ready to come up and sing? Hold on a second first. We're going to have varsity cheerleaders. It's still on. According to this schedule, we're 5 minutes ahead. That's what the problem is.
I do apologize for my height and for my outfit. Let me see here. Okay. First of all, I want to recognize 2 girls for outstanding cheerleading, but also outstanding in the classroom. We feel that this is very important, that, again, classroom skills are held strong. So I have a certificate that, I know it's homemade, but the thought that counts, right? One is for Megan Martin, who had the highest GPA for the reserve squad during the season. The other for the varsity goes to Natalie Heidegger. Again, to me that is something extremely proud, proud for her to be proud of, her parents. Let me catch my breath. Like I was mentioning during the football banquet, for those of you that got to hear my charming voice then, we have a chance this year to do something that hasn't happened in 15 years. We had 6 girls, actually 13 years, but who can count? 13 years that we had the same 6 girls on the football squad as were on the basketball squad. And they'll be the first to tell you that's a long season to put up with the same advisor. Okay. But it was neat because I knew them right from the start. Since June 1st, I worked with the same 6 gals, and I name of a single one of them. I'm going to call them up. We have first 4 juniors that are earning their first year letter as a basketball junior. We have Mandy Johnson. She sees a bar and a little medallion that has a pom girl on it. Then we have Natalie Heidinger again. Jessica Hinman. She's not here, I'm sorry. And Dina Putnam. Hopefully next year this time you'll be seeing the same group. We have tryouts on Friday night, and if you get a chance, wish everybody good luck. Period. And I have another junior who is earning a first-year letter because she was a member of our squad only during basketball season, and she did a tremendous job. Carrie Baker was our mascot. She was underneath the hat during those hot gym days, and she still had that. I have notes somewhere. Let me see. No, let's check. It's been a long day. They're over there. Let's do this from memory. I need to thank, first of all, parents for, again, supporting the girls and for supporting the boys when we bought things. I apologize. I did not know we would have competition, and I appreciate all the efforts that went that way. I need to thank and bring up a special mention to Carrie Samsel. Please, come up here. She was our substitute mascot, and then she went above and beyond the call of duty when she volunteered to be underneath that head during the girls' game. I know they appreciated it, the fans appreciated it, and so did I. And I have 2 seniors. I'll have both of them come up at once since they're so shy. Amber Ramsey and Teresa Stroud. Both of them are earning their second-year basketball award. And Teresa is earning a captain's bar. So they're getting a nice medallion. We'll see if we can find a better keychain for it so it doesn't fall. I'm worried about it. It fell apart in my hands, so you could ask any of my family, I'm not very strong. It's a nice medallion. It says on the back, second-year award. And a bar, and the captain's bar goes to Teresa. What else I have? I like Santa Claus here. Captain's award plaque. Amber got one in football season. Teresa gets basketball. And something a little different for me. This is I found these at Myers. They are no, it did not come with pictures. I had to go get those myself. But basically, it's a nice mat that says cheerleader. It has a little medallion in there with the cherub pom-pom. And I looked, and I went and asked 3 times. They only had one red, so there's one pink. But that's okay. Girls need pink to a little special reminder. I think you can figure out which one belongs to which. And I have one more. It's very unusual, but we end up with a cheerleader who competes in every single possible squad. And we do have one this year that was a cheerleader in 8th grade, both seasons in 9th grade, both seasons as a sophomore, both seasons as a junior, and tonight finishes last year as a senior. Teresa, there's a little special medallion to recognize that. Thanks for all your help, for keeping me organized when I'm losing my mind. And I also need to thank, I know neither one of them is here, both of our little miniature cheerleaders, Kayla Screechy and Brianna Calver. They brought a lot of positive emotions from the younger group, and I think that may have had something to do with our numbers of, 45 girls trying out for cheerleading this year, which is up from years in the past. Actually, I think it's more like 60. But it's still a high number. And I want to thank them. They did a marvelous job. I appreciate their peppiness. It probably drove their parents nuts. But thank you, and thanks to the boys for a very, let me see, how do I put this way? Up and down season, but I remember all the ups. No matter what, I remember all the ups.
Varsity cheerleaders come back up, please. This is our appreciation from the varsity players and coaches for a great job, fine season, and good luck this Friday night to each and every one of them.
That's a special hug because this young lady did this for me, and she also kept
Andy, Knapp, and me very fat during the season. Thanks, Mandy. Thank you, each and every one. Special awards. Honorable mention, NOL, Toby Steps. Honorable mention, NOL, Joel Hinkle. Second team, District 6, Coaches Association, first team NOL, Nick Hammond. You're still wet to see the pants. Jeff, would you like to come up at this time and represent WSWR with their special award? Jeff Swank.
I'd like to have a few thank yous. First of all, Kentucky Fried Chicken, who has been with us ever since the Wizard has been on the air as a sponsor of our Player of the Year award. I'd like to thank Dana Pennell and all the people at KFC for doing that again this year. Also, we do sportscasts every morning on the Wizard, 3 of them, as a matter of fact, and the last month or so we've been had public service announcements for the Ohio High School Athletic Association. A couple of the commissioners, Clark Kellogg, do some of the spots. And if you're in my position, you're shifting stuff around, and you're trying to get ready as the time's ticking down. It's only 30 seconds. And sometimes you don't listen real close to what they're saying, but then it strikes you when they say that, when they look back at their careers, especially when I'm thinking about Mr. Kellogg, the thing he remembers most is his high school athletics. And when you get the opportunity to be in the position that we are, we get to talk about Dennis Rodman, we get to talk about Benny Testaverde, or whoever it may be, but there's no pride that can be at the same level as when you're talking about high school athletes, because Joe Tate, who was nice enough to join us out here for a game this year, said there's nothing when you look at the effort that's put out by those young men, and I think that that's what sports is all about. You know, you can make your $5 million a year if you like, but that's what it's all about, is putting it on the line every night, and these gentlemen certainly do that. I'd also like to thank the coaches. I usually slither in here about once a week to interview Mr. Strucy about that weekend's games. I'd like to thank them. There's been a little talk this year about 31 years, so I thought I'd bring this up. And the fact that sometimes in the locker room you'll hear coaches talk about, boy, I've been in this game so long as compared to another coach, you know, a little bit of a slap here and there. But I like to point out that the fact there's been so much talk about 31 years here tonight. I don't mean to look down on you, but I just celebrated my 31st birthday. So you be that as it may. When you take a look at a Player of the Year award with a team that Shelby put on the floor this year, it's been very difficult for us because there isn't somebody that stands out, and if you're an opposing coach, it's very difficult to defend a team like that because you can't concentrate on one person. So when Mr. Ravelman and Pat Heidegger and I put our heads together, it won't come up with much, no. That's not fair to me, no. But we try to say, and of course we give the weekly awards, and as we announce after every game, it makes you eligible for the Player of the Year. Well, that's true, but that we try to think at the end of the season, boy, who deserves that, and as I said, sometimes it's an easy choice, someone that sticks right out. But with a team like Shelby, it's a very balanced text. That was a very difficult choice for us to make this year. And despite the fact that he used to work with his mother, that we didn't count that against him. So this year's award winner from the Wizard and Kentucky Fried Chicken is Nick Hammond.
Thanks, Jeff, for all the great support. It's a class organization down there. Our special awards will continue here. First of all, I'd like to take this time to give our captain's awards, and I'd like to have these two young men come up. Nikki and Jay, would you come up and receive your captain's award? True leadership, a senior and a junior working together to make this program run. Two outstanding young men. One of them will be back, one of them will be gone, but he'll always be remembered. Thank you, men. First special award goes to our most improved athlete. And again, this is a tough situation here with these guys. A lot of thought went into this. He has improved a great deal. Jay Hyland. Based on statistics, and it was very close. Best free throw shooter, Josh Steele. Six-man award. Another tough situation, but you can count on him. He drives you nuts. Stitch stack. Most assists. Point guard. Toby Stepsis. Most rebounds, got some ups. Joel Hinkle. Mr. Hustle. Scabs on his body. Floor burns. Drives you nuts. Stitch stack. Our sportsmanship award goes to a young man, and if he could have gotten his body up off of the mat at Willard, I'm not so sure we would be honoring him tonight as a sportsman, but he truly is. Our sportsmanship award goes to Kurt Kepfinger. I don't know how I've done, but we're very close. I would have preferred if he would have gotten thrown out of a game, because then I could have put us in the defense I wanted us to play, and that type of thing. He's a pretty good guy. Wears his emotions on his sleeve. And with a half hour before this program started, I thought I was doing Larry's job. But I guess we got through it. I want to thank everybody for being here. This is a great place. Fine young men. The great thing is, we got one individual. It's going to be hard to replace. But there's a JV squad, and there's a freshman squad. Somebody's going to step up and take that young man's place. But boy, we got 11 guys coming back. We should have some fun. But we've been known to screw some things up. And you pay your $4 to come in, you're allowed to get on us. Okay? But I know we got a hard-working group of kids. Some of them are in the weight room already. We got a bunch of them playing spring sports. They're playing baseball. And we want them to play baseball. We want them to run track. We want them to do all the things that make them a great high school athlete, make a great scholar athlete. We want them to do it in the classroom. Keep them encouraged, parents. You're a great bunch of people. I hope, I pray, that we will work hard. You never know. This banquet may not be until the first week in April next year. I'm not putting pressure on people. We just want to go get it. Fellas, will you work hard? There's no doubt in my mind they'll work hard. Okay? I want to thank you all. Say a prayer tonight for me. I know you will. We have tapes up here for the varsity players. I would like, if the parents want to come up, I think these captains are going to do something. But after, we'd like to have you come up and get a tape. It's the Gund Arena game. Hopefully you will enjoy it. Special award winners. There will be a picture taken by our athletic director, Mr. Calver. I've been here 31 years. You're doing a great job, no matter what anybody says. Mr. Calver will take a picture. And turn this over to these two guys for a moment. Hang on. This is Mr. Will Boy.
Coach Knapp, on behalf of the JV team, we appreciate what you've done this year. And
as Coach Hardesty said, Coach Hirschwood said too, that we worked really hard this year, but I think the coaches worked harder than us. Just watching the film, and sometimes watching too much film of one game, not to mention the Young game, Coach Hardesty. Just preparing us every week for our opponent. I mean, we have to have that to just compete. We have the team and the managers. We went to the both gifts. Well, that's not gifts.
I'd also just like to say real quick how important the coaches were and how much we appreciate them. And just everything they've done for us. I'd also say thanks to the team for making the year interesting. I appreciate it. And give me something to come back and watch next year. You guys are great.
Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Jay. Thanks for the gift. Judy, I think we might get to go somewhere. It's got your name on it. She's been putting up with me for 31 years. She's a great one. And Dee Dee, she knows quite a bit about the game of basketball too. She breaks down a few film. She lets you know. Folks, I hope you've had an enjoyable evening. We tried our best. We would have liked to have the guy here. We're going to work hard. You'll always be proud of this school and these young men and these young ladies that represent Shelby Whippet basketball. Thank you.